Hey everybody, welcome to day 33 of my mental health journey. For those of you who aren't aware, essentially I document my day-to-day struggles with mental health, mainly anxiety, just with the hope of connecting with other folks and providing a platform for which people for whom I can't speak can hop on here, share their stories, and hopefully connect with more people in the future. So that being said, I'm going to keep this pretty brief today. It's a pretty cut and clear topic I want to speak on, but that's essentially the motivating factors that people have for making changes in their lives. So for me, for example, I can think of like losing weight, as well as just like doing well at like work and stuff like that as two things that, if you look at it from an outside perspective, those are pretty solid goals to have. You want to be healthy and you want to be successful. However, sometimes I felt like the motivating factors that kind of pushed me forward and propelled me to do well at both of those things weren't exactly positive, and they certainly didn't always, place me first, if that makes sense. So I remember, I wanted to like lose weight to like look good for other people, to impress other people. It was never really about, I got a sense of satisfaction from like seeing the scale change and everything, but I felt like a lot of the stuff that I cared about was superficial, and just trying to impress other people instead of looking back at it and being like, are you looking at this for the right reason? Is it because you want to make yourself feel better and you want to be the best version of yourself, or is it because you want to impress people? And even though like I'm in a much better place now and I feel great about my physical health, I can say that a lot of the stuff I did to get to where I am was to impress other people, and my motivating factors weren't really aligned with, my best interests. It was all superficial stuff, all stuff that I just wanted to be more attractive to girls. I wanted to, throw the proverbial middle finger at people that had said that I was like fat or whatever, or who I had in my head thought maybe said I was fat. They may not have said it to me, but I was like, I just didn't feel really good about myself, and I just wanted to basically prove everybody wrong. Proving people wrong can be a good motivating factor, but at the same time, you're trying to like affect the way other people think about you instead of affecting the way that you think about yourself. I was thinking about those other people, and sometimes I feel like it was a defense mechanism to like not go deeper into my own head and recognize like what I was doing wrong and then take the proper steps to fix it. So I just instead like kind of threw my vitriol and like my just aggression at other people in order to like make them the enemy, and that I was going to do this workout harder to show them, and blah, 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 blah. And, maybe that works for you. And I guess it worked for me. But when I think back on it, that was not really a good motivating factor. It should have been all about me from the get-go. It shouldn't have been about anybody else but me, because that was my journey that I was taking, my health journey. And same thing with work. If I ever got like digged on by somebody for, not doing something as well as I wanted, it would never be about like, I want to do this to show myself, that I can do everything I believe in and whatnot. It was always to like be spiteful and be like, hey, idiot, like, you said that I didn't do a good job. Well, here's once again the proverbial middle finger. It was always just like aggression as opposed to like finding some sort of mental peace with myself. And I just think that it can work like in the short term, I guess, like if it was like a one-time thing, but it was always for me like the thing. I always had to prove people wrong. I had to let them know like if they kicked me to the curb, like, look what you lost. In reality, they could see you and still not change their mind. Like, you have to love yourself and care about what you got going on, and just focus on yourself to be the best person you can be. And it was always for me just like look what you lost. Look how dumb you were for thinking that I wasn't capable of doing this. Look how dumb you were for thinking that I was going to stay fat, like, and that you'd, be able to just rip on me forever. Like, in reality, they might not have ever been ripping on me. In reality, you could, do everything amazingly and they still might not recognize it. So you have to be cool with yourself, and at the end of the day, be able to say, I did all this work for myself and I'm reaping the benefits, and I love myself for doing it. And I don't care if nobody else recognizes it, because at the end of the day, they're not living in my head. They're not dealing with my thoughts. So until I'm able to I won't even say wrestle with, because you don't want to wrestle with your thoughts, but until you're able to like understand your thoughts and allow yourself to be, all that other stuff is not going to get you to that level of happiness you're looking for, at least in my case. Now, like I said before, those things that I considered negative, they did help me get like results, but at what cost? For like the weight loss thing, I said it in a prior thing, but I ended up having a seizure, ended up, recovering for over a year. And I just did it because I wanted to look good on the beach. I wanted to like impress girls and, have people be like, oh, damn, dude, like you lost so much weight and like you put on muscle and stuff, like you're doing great. Like it was all super superficial. And if I had just done it from a more like, let me think about it from just me, like I'm not a selfish person. So sometimes like the idea of thinking like, just think of you, everyone else is irrelevant. Like that's hard for me to break down, especially because like I want to help other people. And like, case in point, this entire video is obviously me explaining stuff and getting stuff off my chest, but it's also to help people. So like the idea of being selfish for me is a foreign one. However, at some point, everyone's got to be selfish. You got to do it for you, nobody else. Even if you think someone's going to like change their opinion of you because you lost the weight or, you got that promotion, like they might not. And so if they don't, but you still got to that result, how do you feel about it if you were doing it just for them? Like you got to realize that it should be for you. You should be proud of yourself for achieving whatever it was you achieved. And even if they don't get it, then that's fine. You still have every right to be happy and you have every right to be proud of yourself. So anyway, guys, I'm going to cut this video short. I don't want to ramble, but it is something near and dear to my heart because it is something that I used to do all the time. Those are just two examples of it, but there's plenty more. But I will post this later tonight. I hope you guys have a great week. I'm going to try and post at least one more this week. I've just really been wanting to give you guys good content instead of, 5 minutes of just blah, 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 just to meet a quota or something. So thank you for everyone who's been downloading my podcast and watching my videos. I love you guys, and I will have more content down the road.